Claude versus ChatGPT versus Gemini. Today, I'm going to talk about which one is best for your small business. Hey, everybody, my name is Dr. Marcella Wilson. I am a computer science professor. I also run Learn AI and ChatGPT. And here I am in my computer lab where I do a lot of my research. What I do is I help small businesses use AI. So I've done all the hard work for you. I've done all the research. So I've tested these three large language models, these three tools extensively. So today I'm going to talk about which one is best for you to use in your business. This is going to save time. Instead of you having to figure this out for yourself, I've done all the hard work for you. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one is right for your business. Now, I've got a lot of notes here. So if you see me looking down, I am looking at my notes. All right. So first of all, I'm going to talk about each one individually, and then I'm going to go into my thoughts as to what you should use for your small business and when, right? Because I think, as you'll see, for certain things, you want to use one model over the other. Okay, let's talk about ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT is by OpenAI. It was it was, the first main large language model to come on the scene, right? It is the most popular by far, and it's the most widely used. So I think ChatGPT almost has the Airbnb effect, right? What I mean is like an Airbnb is really a short-term rental, but we don't say short-term rentals, we say Airbnb and everybody knows what you mean. Like also like cotton swabs, right? People don't say cotton swabs, they say Q-tips, right? So I think ChatGPT has achieved that status. When you say, oh, let's go on ChatGPT, people automatically know. That's kind of like the brass ring for large language models right now. So I personally feel that ChatGPT hands down is best for content creation. I love to I use all three, but when I need to create social media, write emails, I'm going straight to ChatGPT. I just feel that it does that really, 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 really well. ChatGPT has two versions available. There's a free version and there's a paid version. The paid version is like $20 a month. I still can't believe it's that cheap for all that ChatGPT can do. They're only charging $20. I don't expect it to stay that way, but for now, it's $20 a month, which is a steal. But even if you don't get the paid version, you still can do tons of things. It's still very useful, even if you just, don't pay anything for it. So the great thing about ChatGPT, it has the largest library of plugins and integrations. Lots of people create GPTs, and all of the other large language models like, Claude or Gemini, they really haven't kind of captured the market on that. So ChatGPT has a lot of integrations. They have the most tutorials, right? If you go on YouTube, ChatGPT by far has the most tutorial videos. They have the most resources available online. So that is really helpful because I actually feel that some people have built-in fear of tech or fear of AI. They're cautious of it. So since ChatGPT has a lot of tutorials and resources and information online, people are naturally going to gravitate to ChatGPT because the material is geared towards it. All right. So I do think that ChatGPT is best for beginners. And because it has that massive support community, I think that it's a great choice for beginners, right? The other two we're going to discuss today, it's not the case. So if you are a beginner, I'd recommend ChatGPT. And if you get stuck or need help, there's a huge support community. So the main weakness I see with ChatGPT is it can be kind of verbose, right? It can be kind of preachy, right? It can when you prompt it, if you prompt it well, it might give you back a response that's like 5,000 words. you know, it's very verbose, right? Especially this new iteration of it. And sometimes as well, if you don't know how to prompt correctly, the responses it can give you back can be either garbage, like what is this? Or they could just be so generic. If a person were to look at it, you'd be like, "Oh, I know AI wrote that." Right? So I think that's ChatGPT's weakness. But I do teach people how to prompt. So if you are interested in that, I have a fun little course in the description. You can check that. But anyway, that's ChatGPT. Let's move on to Claude. So Claude is by Anthropic. Now I've just really recently got into Claude, right? I do believe that Claude is the most conversational and it's the most natural sounding of the three that I'm discussing today. It's best known for long form writing, nuanced content, and maintaining brand voice. When you are prompting Claude, you are going through the chat, the prompts. It's kind of like you're talking to a human, right? So I think that it has mastered that really, 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 really well, right? One of Claude's greatest strengths is that it has mastered doing complex instructions. Claude is known for being excellent in coding, you know, creating technical things. You just tell it what to do and it does it. So when I am coding or programming, I go to Claude. Absolutely. Yeah, and Gemini can do those things, but I feel like Claude can do it quickly and get it right the first time. And I kind of don't have to revise it over and over again to get it where I need it to be. Also, Claude has these amazing additions to help you work smarter. I feel like Claude is my productivity partner, right? They have projects where you can just kind of create your own little project. I know that ChatGPT has that too, but I feel that Claude does it even does it better. Claude has co-work where it can actually look at the files on your computer, do work on those files, rearrange your files. I know some people are a little kind of like, I don't want, you know, AI to be accessing my computer, my files, but it is a really, really masterful tool. And it can do a lot of other things as well. So I just feel like Claude is my productivity partner, right? So it also has a free version available and a paid version. Again, you don't have to get the paid version. I think just like ChatGPT, Claude is $20 a month if you want to go the paid version. The weakness I feel that Claude has is that Claude is less widely known. It's becoming more widely known, but it's less widely known. So therefore, there's less tutorials, there's less information available. There's not as big of a support community for you. Okay, now let's go to Gemini. So Gemini is by Google, right? Everybody knows Google, and it was formerly called Bard. Gemini is best for research and finding current information. And why? Is because it's backed by Google, right? It connects directly to Google search. So it has access to all of that information. So Google Gemini is best for market research, finding trends, competitor analysis, things like that. It also can integrate with like your Gmail, Google Docs, Google Sheets, things like that. Any Google product it can integrate with and work with that. Also, there are free and paid versions of Gemini as well. So, as they all do, Gemini has a weakness as well. I feel that Gemini is not strong on its creative content. I would never go to Gemini and ask it to create social media content for me. I also feel that it's not as conversational as say Claude or ChatGPT. When you're prompting with it, I feel that it's more complex in how it responds to the user. So I think that is kind of the weakness. Okay. So now that I kind of talked broadly about Claude, ChatGPT, and Gemini, let me tell you what I think you should use for what in your business, if that makes sense. All right. So if you need to create social media content, hands down, ChatGPT is the clear winner. And I think I alluded to that earlier. It just is really, really good with being funny or professional. How whatever tone or mood or feeling that you want to give in your ChatGPT and your brand voice, it can do that and it is excellent. So don't go anywhere else if you want to create any kind of social media content, emails. ChatGPT is your guy. If you don't go, if you don't have access to ChatGPT, I would use Claude, but I would not use Gemini for this at all. All right. For research and trends, use Gemini, right? Because Gemini is directly connected to Google search and it has access to current trends and all of the Google search data. And Google knows everything. So you want to tap into that through Gemini. Okay. My second choice behind that would probably be Claude. All right. So for beginners, out of the three, if you are a beginner, I recommend using ChatGPT. Why? Because ChatGPT has such a plethora of tutorials and resources and communities available online. It's a great place for beginners to start and they will and get the support that you need. Okay. For writing long form content, I would choose Claude, right? If you had to write some kind of report or if you're trying to write a book or something, need help with that, or an essay, go to Claude. ChatGPT, I would not do it because sometimes you ask it to write something, it'll cut off. It won't write the whole thing for you. It'll write a portion of it. Claude would be my first choice to write long form content, maybe like a blog post for your business, right? And if you are just you need tasks done in your business, my favorite is Claude. Again, Claude has co-work, it has projects, it has skills. I didn't talk about that. Skills is where you teach Claude to do something like if you want your, Facebook ads written a certain way, you tell it how to write it and it will always, refer back to that and write your Facebook ads the way you want. So I just feel like Claude is really, really, really powerful when it comes to productivity and just doing tasks on its own. So right now I'm really feeling Claude. I really love it. I get a lot of work done using Claude, but I go to ChatGPT for my content, hands down. For the price, again, if you don't have any money, you're short on budget, it's okay. You can use the free versions and still have a wonderful experience with all three. All three paid versions are $20 or less. So, if you want to give up a couple of lattes during the month, you can probably afford one, two, or all of them. You don't need to pay for all three. Just pick one and master it. Okay, so here's the honest truth that nobody tells you about these tools. The tool matters less. What tool you use matters less. So I don't care if you use ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. What matters is that you know how to prompt, you know how to use it, right? So because a bad prompt in ChatGPT gives you bad results. A bad prompt in Claude gives you bad results, and a bad prompt in Gemini gives you bad results, right? So the secret isn't the tool you pick, it's learning how to write prompts that actually work, right? So that's all. That's kind of the overarching picture is just use one, pick one, master it deeply, and then master the art of prompting. And you'll get better results from that one tool than if you just kind of mess around with all three and don't really master any of them. All right. So, again, if you're just starting out, I recommend starting with ChatGPT. And then as you learn that, in your business, using that in your business, you can kind of integrate Claude because Claude can do a lot of tasks for you well. And then you can use Gemini to do like competitor research, things like that. So start with ChatGPT, move on to Claude to do tasks for you, and then use Gemini. All right. So if you want to use ChatGPT, which I recommend if you haven't, if you're new to all of this, I do have a free email course. It's called ChatGPT 101, and it's specifically for business owners. And it teaches you everything like how to write your first prompt and how to create a month's worth of content in minutes. And again, you can check in the description and there's the link, and you can sign up for that free course, and it's via email. So that's all I got to tell you today. So thank you for watching. If you've liked this video, please like it, share it with other business owners who could use this information, and please, by all means, subscribe on my channel. I talk about AI and how, again, I help business owners learn AI for their business to get more money, save time, things like that. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.